Hello, everyone. We are doing a live stream to talk about your questions. We have just finished up doing several live streams on quite a few things today. We started with the dialogues with the devils, gospel from St. Thomas. We talked about Brother Gino, St. Anthony of Padua. And here we are to take your questions. So, a lot to contemplate today. Feel free to jump in the chat room. This is for you. This is for your questions, your thoughts, anything you want to share, talk about, ask. Want to point out again, if you're here, please subscribe to our channel. Please consider becoming a member. You can click on the join button up in the right-hand corner. Look at the options for you there. Becoming a member really helps the Out of Body Travel Foundation to continue keeping our resources for free for everyone here and around the world. And so we very much appreciate that. We want to continue reducing spiritual hunger worldwide. Simple as that, right? So that's what we are hoping to continue to do. So we are, what are we going to talk about until you all get back on here, huh? So, we can talk about a vision I had last night. It's a little disturbing, but I'm going to talk about it. So I had this vision last night, mystical experience about a soul I've been working with. And it's a little disturbing, but actually very, very good. So this soul had literally almost like an orange peel taken off his own skin from the neck through the chest and was peeling away this dark mark behind the neck in the upper back. And it was my task in the mystical sphere to help this soul because there was all of this open skin, muscle tissue. It was almost like, how when we talk about pulling ourselves inside out, we never really think about, well, what would that look like? Imagine if you actually did that. You put your hands inside your mouth, put it all the way down to your toes, and pull yourself inside out. And so in this experience last night, I was working with this soul who's been undergoing a great deal of purification, trying to root out a lot of difficult things in their life, a lot of violent behaviors from their past. And so this person literally, in order to root out this black spot, had peeled away their skin, almost like the skin of an orange peel. And I was helping walk this person over to a place where they could sit and let this heal. And again, this is a live stream for all of you, for your questions. So jump in here, get in the chat room, tell me what you want to ask me about, what you want to talk about. If you want to just share your own thoughts, your own experiences, that's what this is for. Jump on in. And so this particular experience, it was very powerful in the sense of seeing this rooting out go to such a level that this, hello, Anna Yell. Anna Yell asks a question. Let me just finish my thought and then we're going to take Anna Yell's question. To such a level that it was painful to look at, but yet it was also admirable of this soul, because this soul was making an effort that was important. important to root out uh, what they needed to be dealing with and getting rid of in order to make real progress. And ironically, by the end of the experience, the Blessed Mother appeared and gave me permission to offer a very special gift to this soul. And so it was actually a turning point for this soul, even though it seems kind of grisly and extreme. It was actually a turning point. Let's see what Anael is asking. Would you happen to know what plane Jesus Christ, the Messiah, and the royal family are on, such as the ethereal, astral, causal, or beyond these realms? Well, the Jesus Christ, Messiah, and the royal family, they occupy many realms. Ironically, ethereal, astral, causal are realms that would be below their normal planes of operation. They would be what I would call, like, for lack of a better word, above the celestial, above the Empyrean, you know. And so, like, the realms that we operate on, the ones you're speaking of, ethereal, astral, causal, these are human realms of action and activity that we operate on in the spirit spheres and human souls, and also some of our, what we would see. But with the royal family of God, it's going to be much higher levels. So the Empyrean heavens and beyond. I would also even call it like, in, like the higher eons. These are realms so far beyond what we would relate to. Even in just like a basic out of body travel experiences. This doesn't mean that the royal family or Jesus Christ do not travel to those spheres, but in terms of where they reside, where they come from, where they emanate from, it's going to be from the Empyrean heavens and above. So I hope that's sort of helpful. It's hard to define it because it's so beyond words. Let's see what Adriana has to ask. Throughout my life, I naturally wake up suddenly from my sleep with experiencing sleep paralysis and feeling and listening to strong vibrations. And sometimes as I relax, I feel my spirit lifting. This happens very naturally to me. Sometimes in this state, I hear voices. I can't continue because of fear. I believe in Jesus Christ. I know good and evil is real. Any insight is appreciated. And you are very welcome, Aniel. And yes, it is important to know. Very important. Aniel says, thank you. This is very important to know. It is important. Very important to understand this hierarchy, that there is a hierarchy in spiritual existence, and that there is a hierarchy to the spiritual elements of being, and that there is this difference between where we stand and where certain greater beings reside and where they stand and stuff. And so, Adriana, what you are speaking about, it's hard to know if what you're experiencing is actually sleep paralysis or just the vibrational state. It can be either or both. The feeling of the strong vibrations and hearing them is all vibrational state. Feeling your spirit lifting is indicative that you're in the vibrational state and that you are possibly right on the verge of having an out-of-body experience. The fact that you are hearing voices is the indication that you are touching into the astral plane and you are hearing the thoughts of humanity. You are afraid of it, which is normal. Most of us will have that experience. It's good that you are aware that good and evil are real, because they are. And so it's good that you have that caution. So what I would tend to say, when you go into the vibrational state, you will have a certain sense of paralysis. So there can be a difficulty in knowing the difference between authentic sleep paralysis and am I just in the vibrational state about to separate my spirit from my form. And from what you're describing, it sounds like you're right on the verge of an out-of-body experience. You could also be experiencing sleep paralysis, but there is a paralysis point in the vibrational state, which also occurs. And so it could just be that as well. And so please feel free to share more thoughts as I'm communicating with you about this, Adriana. So the voices that you're hearing are the thoughts of humanity, which you do start hearing as your physical body detaches, your spiritual body engages, and then you suddenly engage and you are hearing the thoughts of the astral plane, which is the thoughts of humanity. The fact that you feel your spirit lifting, you feel the vibrations, you hear them, to me, that is indicative that you are on the verge of an out-of-body experience rather than just sleep paralysis. That's how I would most likely gauge it, but it could be both, you see. So it can be a combination of the two. And, so feel free to share with me any thoughts you're having as I'm cannot move at all. Yes, that's what will happen in the vibrational state. Absolutely. I cannot move at all. And so, it's interesting because one of the things that I would say, and this is my opinion, so I just have to put my little disclaimer on it. I believe that sleep paralysis may have, been named as a separate entity, when in fact, I don't know if it is a separate entity, because it is part of this state of consciousness that occurs when the soul goes deeper into this level of consciousness, and you're right on the vibrational edge here, and you can't move at all. That's what happens, because what's happened is your physical body has disengaged, your spirit has engaged. And so when you try to move, you're going to have movement in your spiritual body. That's why when you try to lift your arm, a light arm might rise up, but your physical body will not respond because you have disengaged from the physical body. And so my own personal opinion is about the sleep paralysis thing is that there is a correlation between sleep paralysis and the vibrational state anyway. Whether they're actually two separate, distinct states, I'm not sure that I'm convinced that that's the case. I think it's possible that people who are not comfortable with the idea that people have a spiritual body and that out-of-body travel occurs need to believe in that sleep paralysis is completely separate, when it's possible that in fact they're not, that they're tied together. I think that's possible, because it's always, for me, it occurs in relation to the vibrational state. Last Sunday, I heard a sweet ethereal voice, but I just didn't trust it. I was scared. Well, and that's okay. And what you can do is you do the discernment questions. And so you ask, have you been sent here by Almighty God to instruct me? Have you been sent here by our Lord Jesus Christ? Are you on behalf, here on behalf of our Lord Jesus Christ? Are you, you can ask when you have just random spirits, do you believe that Jesus Christ descended from heaven and was incarnate of the Virgin Mary. These are all biblical discernments. MT says, I agree with Marilynn. I found out that sleep paralysis can be the great opportunity to taking off by willing it. Absolutely. Once you break through the fear, I have no doubt that you will take off smoothly. I agree with that. It's like for some reason they've tried to create a separate medical entity out of sleep paralysis, when in fact it's a level of consciousness that precedes out of body travel. And so, Adriana, yes, I felt my arm and hand moving up in slow motion, but felt paralyzed. Yes, you will feel that because your physical body will be motionless. It'll be your spiritual body that will respond. Okay, I heard that on your Q&A. Thank you. You're very welcome. And you know, MT brings up an excellent point, which is that this is the time where you might want to start exercising the idea of willing yourself out of the body. Now, you know, I'd be interested in you sharing, Adriana, a little bit about what are your fears? What are you afraid of? And maybe we can address those fears here, you know, right now, to see if we can help you work through those. You know, because that might be helpful for you if you have an idea of what you are afraid of. We might be able to help more with that. And it's good that you have this discernment, that even though you heard a sweet ethereal voice, but you didn't trust it. That's smart that you have that discernment, because so many are so quick to just jump on that bandwagon of, you know, oh, it's sweet. It must be okay. You're afraid of evil. Okay. And so the simple question begins with, are you here to instruct me on behalf of our Lord Jesus Christ? And if they aren't, they can't stay. The other thing then is, can you be more specific, Adriana, in terms of, so I understand being afraid of evil, but I'm afraid of evil spirits. Okay. So you're afraid of spirits that might be there to trick you as well. And so that's why you need to learn more about the discernment of spirits. This might actually be something you might want to consider doing. You know, in our, we have a course of study at the website at outofbodytravel.org. And one of the things on that course of study is a course that's offered by Father Timothy Gallagher on the discernment of spirits. And I recommend that very much for you, because that'll help you to learn about the discernment of spirits according to the Ignatian examen of conscience. She said my name and she said it was good on the other side. Okay, and that might be true. We don't have any way of discerning that here. It might be true. She said my name and said it was good on the other side. That could be true. And it might, you know, it could have been, we don't want to be so afraid that you are afraid to proceed at all. MT says, yes, agree, Marilynn. I had to face my fear at the beginning of my journey a lot. I even manifested an evil entity out of my fear, but the fear-based evil creatures are easily taken out by command. Yes, and that would be the thought form evil creatures that were created by your thoughts, MT. Would that be correct? You created something through your thoughts. And so you can create your own You actually can create, yeah, true evil spirit works very differently, and you'll be trained to deal with it if that's what God wishes. That's very true, MT. Absolutely. So if you're going to be dealing with evil spirits, it's going to be very different. And MT is correct on that, very much so. So when you have, and I wrote about this in the Mysteries of the Redemption, that you can actually create in your own thought forms, that sort of thing. So yes, you're afraid of evil spirits. Yes, that's true. MT says Marilyn's book will help you through a lot about it. So Adriana, let me ask, have you read any of the books, like the Mysteries of the Redemption? Have you had a chance to start reading that book, Mysteries of the Redemption, a treatise on out-of-body travel and mysticism? And you also might want to start with Come to Wisdom's Door and The Hammer of Mysticism as well. Those are, you can download all of those freely at the website at outofbodytravel.org. The Mysteries of the Redemption is going to teach you a lot about discernment as well. So those are the kinds of things I would start with. I would definitely start with, okay, so you're pretty new to us. Well, welcome. We're very happy to have you. My apologies. I got something in my throat here. So how long have you, when did you find out about us? For the first time recently in the last month, last couple months? Tamara. Video last week. Oh, wow. Very recent. Okay. MT says, yes, those are so very helpful books. When I was in the spiritual warfare back then, I was specifically instructed to read Spiritual Warfare, Angels, and Demons. That is also a very good idea. Oh, you watched the interview from Seeking Heaven with Tamara. Okay, Adriana. Yeah, so Spiritual Warfare, Angels and Demons is in the Mystic Knowledge series. Let me see if I can. Yes, Tamara Caldwell. Let me see if there's a way. Do you know how to find? So when you go to outofbodytravel.org, you want to click on Out of Body Travel Books. It's actually Out of Body Books, my mistake there. And then you'll go down for Come to Wisdom's Door and The Hammer of Mysticism. It'll be in the first section on How to Have Out-of-Body Experiences series. And that's where you'll find Come to Wisdom's Door and The Hammer of Mysticism. And then you'll pass through the spiritual autobiography books and go to the Mysteries of the Redemption series. And there you can download the Mysteries of the Redemption, a treatise on out-of-body travel and mysticism. And then you can continue to scroll down through a few more series. You're going to pass through the Redemption series, the Mystical Captive series, and the Solitary series. Then you'll hit the Mystic Knowledge series. And there you will find Spiritual Warfare, Angels and Demons. It is the first book in the second row, and you can download that one right there. And MT is absolutely correct. That one will also be very helpful for you. I also think another one you would benefit from is in that series is Ghosts and Lost Souls, which is the third book in the first line of the Mystic Knowledge series. You can download that one as well. And then when you go back to the top, you're going to see there is a button there for the course of study. And when you go to the course of study page, I would go scroll down until you see something called The Discernment of Spirits by Father Timothy Gallagher. And I'd like you to take that course. It is, I think it's about a 7-part series of courses on the Ignatian. It's the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola. And Father Timothy Gallagher is a master of teaching this path. And you can follow that there. So under the course of study at the main site at outofbodytravel.org, scrolling down that page, you'll find him on that page, The Discernment of Spirits. And that's really going to help. But the Mysteries of the Redemption is really a good place to start. I'm curious, MT, if you could share some feedback with Adriana, because am I correct, MT, in saying that the Mysteries of the Redemption would be the thing that's going to probably help her the most? Or would you say Spiritual Warfare, Angels and Demons? Should she go to that first? Or I'm kind of thinking Mysteries of the Redemption is going to give her more of an overall view there. But since you're so worried about the demonic, this goes right to it. And then also, Anael, you are here as well. And I'm curious about your thoughts because you have read quite a few books as well. And I'm curious if you have any input for Adriana on this. I'm glad you're a reader because that's going to help a lot. And in terms of here on YouTube, let me just give you some things to start with. Take a look here also with the grand phases of the soul. No worries, MT. We have some films that I think would be helpful for you, Adriana. I would start with the grand phases of the soul, which is one of the films, and also The Road to Armageddon. Okay, so MT also agrees, start with the Mysteries of the Redemption, because that's going to give you more of the all-around view of all these things that you're experiencing. You're going to learn a lot about what you're experiencing with separating from form, what you're experiencing with the vibrational state, the things you're having with the light arms and the movement and what you're terming as sleep paralysis. But this is probably what you're going to want to put as the top priority. MT is saying, I agree for starting from the Mysteries of the Redemption. This book always helps to program you and getting ready for that spiritually. Aniel says, I believe you have touched on all the major ones. I am reading The Lord of the Redemption. The videos you mentioned are very good. Starting on the redemption books, yes. Okay, so those are excellent. And Adriana, absolutely feel free to reach out to me anytime and let me know if you have questions. And, I'd love it if you'd become a member here at our channel. Part of our membership is for the purpose of different levels of contact with me and being able to ask questions. And this is a perfect kind of scenario for that. And so you can consider becoming a member. Definitely please subscribe to the channel and reach out to me if you have questions. And like I said, also, if you have questions for the Q&A on the YouTube channel, also, I will be happy to answer questions there. MT says, when you start reading the Mysteries of the Redemption, it is very important to take time and meditate as you read along. I would agree, because it's taking you in sequence as the events will occur, you know. Adriana, thank you so much. I never talked about this with anybody. I am so happy to be able to talk to someone. Much love. Well, much love right back to you, Adriana. And we are all happy to talk with you. And I don't know if you're aware, we also have forums and stuff. So when you go to outofbodytravel.org, make sure you like our Facebook page, join our Facebook group. We have forums so you can get to know lots of people who are all interested in this same thing, going through some of these same things. And absolutely, like MT is saying, we're all in the same boat. We absolutely are. So don't feel like you can't talk about this with anybody. One of the things we want to do is make this something that people can talk to one another about. And we all do it very openly. And that makes it so much easier for us all to progress. You know what I mean? And oh boy, I so agree with you, Adriana. I would like to see you able to move forward and not have to be so afraid anymore. And you don't need to be as afraid as you are. You have what I would call a healthy fear, which is something that will help you along the way, where you will learn discernment, but you don't need to be so terrified. There's, healthy fear is one thing over here on this side, but an inordinate fear is what I think you're experiencing over here, which is excessive and is harming your path. Anna Yell says, is Jesus Christ the Messiah over above the Buddha, prophet, saints, Param saints, perfect living masters have attained to the highest soul levels from all the major religions? Yes, he is. Sorry, I don't ever get to ask. No worries. That's what we're here for. Yes, he is. And this was something that I spoke about in the Mysteries of the Redemption. It was near the end of the book because, of course, that was a question I had. I wanted to know. And I was shown that he is. I was shown the station of the prophets, saints, mystics, and sages, and how they're at this station here, and the Messiah is a different station, and he stands above. And so Jesus Christ heads the royal family of God because he is at a different station. He is who he said he was. He stands in the person, the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. He is a different order of being. And so, yes, he is different. It doesn't change the fact that all these others are extremely high and holy beings of great honor and magnitude, but it is different. And so, yes, absolutely. I'm wondering, we have some people watching, but not chiming in here. We had another gentleman, I believe, who had mentioned wanting to ask questions before. I'm hoping that if he is there, that he will jump in here. I'd like to answer his questions, and anyone else out there, please jump in the chat room and let us know if you want to ask questions, because that's what this is. This is your Q&A. So please feel free to just jump in the chat room and tell us what you would like to talk about. This is your Q&A, your time. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to know? I hope that's helpful, Anna Yell. Yes, he's a different station. A very different station. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Kind of hard to put in words, Bethany Owings, welcome. Very nice to have you with us. Any other tips for beginners? I am starting my astral traveling journey and have read some of your suggestions. I have tons of tips for beginners. And So Bethany, I would love to direct you as well to the books at our website, outofbodytravel.org. I have a book called Come to Wisdom's Door, which is geared for people who are just starting out, gives you direction on preparing for the journey. I also have a little devotionals, Astral Projection Made Easy, which helps you to kind of compartmentalize the different stages of the journey. Yeah, go for the books. Yes. And we also have a lot now that's available here on the YouTube channel in terms of our films. So we have the Grand Phases of the Soul. And we have the Stairway from Earth to Heaven. We have the Initiations into the Mysteries at the Feet of the Masters. Check out our films. And we also now have quite a few Udemy classes for those who really want to take things deeper. And those are all linked up at the website. And I'd love to hear what MT is asking as well. What are the things you are experiencing, Bethany? I'd love to hear that. So we have lots of resources for you. Yes, we have a lot of content, and always feel free to reach out and let me know where you are in your journey, and I can kind of give you personalized recommendations as well. Most people, I'll tell them to start with Come to Wisdom's Door and the Mysteries of the Redemption. That's usually where we direct people to start. And then you'll see on the website that with the how-to books, they go in sequence. So there's Astral Projection Made Easy and Come to Wisdom's Door, and then they follow in sequence. And then we have the Mysteries of the Redemption series, and then those experiential books continue in sequence as well. And then we have World Religions and Out-of-Body Experience books, which also follow in sequence. And so you can follow those in sequence. And we try to do the same thing with the films on the YouTube channel. So you can try to follow those things in sequence, and that might help a little bit. Let's see what Bethany's saying. I meditate and close my eyes and listen to specialty music on YouTube, such as invocation of Hathor's astral travel frequencies, and then I get to a deeper state. MT says, when I listen to Marilynn's podcast and interviews, I always feel that my soul is being washed clean. Oh, thank you, MT. That's very kind of you to say. And so what you're talking about, Bethany, is those are excellent things to do. There are different types of meditation music that you can use to help in your meditation practice. So there are these frequencies that you can utilize. You'll notice on our YouTube channel, there's the frequency of Otara, which was something I was given by the angels, which is intended to imitate the vibrational state and the vibrational raisings. And a lot of people have success with that. It helps a lot. And but there are also things like Gregorian chants and other types of things like this, which are very useful because they are actually liturgical music. And you'll find as you move further into your spiritual journey that there's significance to that as to why it helps people in their out-of-body travel and spiritual states. So there's a lot of different ways to go with this. So you can utilize the frequencies, you can utilize liturgical type, Gregorian chants, you can utilize, things like the deep Om. There's a lot of really good things that do different frequencies with the Om sound and vibration. So those are excellent. Let me continue here. And None. Hello, Nun. Welcome. Sometimes when I have an OBE, I can walk through walls and other times I can't. Is this because I'm in a different dimensional level? Part of the reason for that is because when you are in the mystical sphere, in the out-of-body travel state, physical particles are tighter vibrationally than air. And so what you have to do is learn through processes how to actually permeate physical matter. And so sometimes it's given to you where it's just easier. And then other times you're kind of faced with the conundrum and you realize, oh, it's not as easy as it looks. But these are things that you can learn to practice and learn the discipline, and then it becomes easier. And you can learn more about these in The Mysteries of the Redemption, a treatise on out-of-body travel and mysticism. And again, outofbodytravel.org. Go to Out of Body Books, and you can download these books for free. So you can download that, and it'll take you through a lot of these processes that you guys are asking about. Adriana, if you can answer, is God the Father and Jesus Christ separate? And do we have a Heavenly Mother? Did you see any of this in your out-of-body travels? Thank you. Adriana, allow me. Forgive me for this, but I have to just, that is a great, beautiful question. God is the Father. Jesus Christ is the Son. And the Holy Spirit. And the Heavenly Mother, our most blessed Virgin Mother. And of course, I've seen it many, many times. I saw the Heavenly Mother last night. I've seen all of it. And the beauty, the awesomeness, the things that you will see, the things that you will learn, the things that you will discover are beyond words. So yes, absolutely. These things are true. They are achievable in terms of witnessing. There are many members of our foundation who find themselves witnessing these things as they find themselves here. I just want to make sure I don't miss any of these wonderful messages. So let me not let them slide out of my way here. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. And Adriana, this is one of the things why I would like you to be able to get through your fear, because there is a great joy for you as well. And I would love to be able to see it, because I know it will happen for you. Anayel, many blessings to you for a wonderful day of live streams. I've enjoyed these immensely. Must go now. Love you. Love you too, Anayel. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Bethany, yes, I love Gregorian chants. Excellent. That's excellent. What you'll find is Gregorian chants will also be very helpful for you in initiating astral experience. So you can utilize those as well for some of your meditations. There's a lot of options, because not just Gregorian chants, but also other spiritual chant, other religious chant from other traditions. Adriana, I will definitely sign up. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you again. Please, everyone, subscribe, become a member. It helps us keep our resources for free for everyone in the world. And that helps us so much. Bethany, it's funny because I always loved Enigma when I was like 12 years old. Me too. And that is one of the things that they brought in, was this Holy Spirit working of that Gregorian chant. Welcome, Sage, and welcome to everyone. I haven't gotten to you yet. I want to welcome everyone here. Let me say hello, Daniel, John, Christian, Metatron. Ooh, I love Metatron. We will have to, I claim it in Jesus' name with you. And so let me continue down. Sage, welcome. This may be off topic, but I had a dream and I heard the words, the back door of Mary. Does that mean anything? I mean, no offense. The dream was interesting, so I'm very curious. Thank you. Well, Sage, it could have a lot of different meanings depending on the context of the dream. But Mary is often considered the co-redemptrix, the mediatrix of graces between humanity and Christ. And so my immediate thought when someone is told the back door of Mary is that they're being told that that Mary is the back door, the easy way to the heart of God. And it is Mary who offers all these graces to us. There is a vision from Catherine of Labouré, who brought in the miraculous medal, wherein she saw the Blessed Mother, and she had all her hands up, and she had rings on all 10 of her fingers, and she had light glowing from certain of those rings more than others. And Catherine asked her, why does the light glow from some of those rings more than from the others? And the Blessed Mother told her, because the ones where the light shines the most are the graces that people think to ask from me. And the ones that are not as, are more dimly lit are the ones that people don't think to ask from me, the graces that people don't ask for. And so what this tells us is that the Blessed Mother holds the power to give us the holy gift of graces, the Holy Spirit of graces, and we just don't remember to ask. And so, Sage, I would say that I would, gather just without knowing the context of your experience. Hello, Daniel and Ronald. Welcome. And I would say that you're being told that Mary is the easy way to the heart of God, the alternate way to the heart of God, and that you may need to learn more about her. And so there's a lot of things that I would consider. For some reason, what comes to mind is the True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort, which was ironically Pope John Paul II's favorite book. I read it too, and many people have, of course, but maybe consider picking that up, or I'm sure there's a free copy online. It's The True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort. Consider taking a look at that, Sage. See if it resonates with you after your experience. Bethany, I typed something that didn't go through. I wrote that I visualized the blue dot and concentrate on that for a while. Then start to see colors like blue and pink and feel like I could be close to shifting. I also start to feel like a lighter feeling, like I could pick my astral arm out of my physical arm, but not quite there. I also get visuals and am an avid lucid dreamer. Excellent. It sounds like you're very, very close. And so all those things are excellent signs that you're getting close to the out-of-body experience. Adriana, thank you. You are welcome. Adriana, I know. Me too. Christian Metatron, God brings forth, the Son arranges, and the Spirit perfects. I love the way you said that, Christian. Excellent. God brings forth, the Son arranges, and the Spirit perfects. Adriana, tears of joy. I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that, Adriana. Bethany, I am starting to get visions like if I I'm generally in a calm state. I can close my eyes and will get visions. Well, continue to allow that to cultivate, because what you're developing, you're opening up, let it continue to cultivate and open up. That's all excellent. That sounds amazing. Your visions. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And you can read all about them in my books at the site. And as I said, you start with the mysteries of the redemption. They go in sequence. And you'll find that you'll get to those eventually, where, those things are happening. Christian, amen. I claim it in Jesus' name. Amen, brother. John, sorry I'm late. Great to see you back doing live streams. Thank you, John. It's great to be back. We have had quite a few excellent talks today. Daniel, hi, how are you? I am great. I would love to hear how you are as well, Daniel. Ronald Coleman, good to see you and looking so well after all these years. Thank you. Thank you. And Christian, this to you as well. Sage, that is amazing. I believe that I'll do that. Sounds great. And I would love to hear about it and your experience with that, as you read it and how you feel about it. If you feel like you're resonating with it, etc. Bethany, woohoo. Yeah, woohoo. MT, it is so beautiful word you received, Sage. Yes, it is. It is very much so. Very beautiful. Bethany, thank you so much for your insight. I'll be investigating some reading material. Your work is very meaningful and much needed. Thank you, Bethany. Very grateful that you feel that way, and very happy to have you with us, and very happy and honored and anxious to see how all of you, how all of your journeys open and progress and proceed. So Sage, I am struggling a little bit. Excuse me, cough going on here. I'm struggling a little bit with my faith, and Mary's gentleness may be what I need right now. That could be. That could very well be. And I'd be happy to discuss a little bit what you're struggling with on your faith. So feel free to share with that. And everyone else who's jumped in and everyone else who might be out there, feel free to throw your questions in here. Okay, so none. When I have an OBE, I find myself in my home, but things are not exactly as they are in my physical life. Is this a true OBE? Absolutely. And it's a great question, because what happens is when you flip from the physical dimension to the astral plane will be slightly askew from the physical. It's not an exact copy. It's always a little bit different. Things are a little bit off. And then what you'll find too is that as you continue traveling, you're going to find that there will be parallel realities and other realities where things will be a little bit off even more in other shifts. Things will shift. And this is normal, because remember, you're not dealing with just physical reality anymore. You're dealing with alterations of reality. So they're not going to be identical. There will be changes. There will be differences. And this is actually to be expected. And actually, the fact that you see that shows us it is actually a legitimate OBE. So we can tell you that you have just verified that you are having legitimate OBEs. MT, seems great grace has been given to you, Sage. I would agree. Thank you for sharing that with us. We all struggle, and the struggles will never end while we are here. So I am happy that we all found each other here. Me too. And thank you, MT, from Sage. I agree. Thank you very much. We do all struggle. And, one of the things I was wanting to share when we were talking about St. Anthony in one of the previous live streams was the fact that we often don't realize that our struggles are so similar and so much the same. And it's good when we realize that we really are all kind of doing the same things. We think our desolations are different than other people's desolations, and we really are not that different from each other. We're very similar to one another, And so I'm curious, Ronald Coleman, so how long have you been with us? Because you have indicated you've been around a long time. So how long have you been with us? Absolutely none. Yes. Absolutely none from MT. Yes. It's not, yes, my bad there. That was none who has verified that this is a real OBE. Sorry about that. Yes, you have verified that that's a legitimate OBE by the very fact that they're not exactly the same. So that's exactly the case there. So definitely. So this has been great. Definitely throw in any questions that you might have. We might be wrapping up here in a few minutes. Anyone else out there, feel free to just jump in the chat room. We'll take your questions, your thoughts, if you want to share any experiences. I would love to hear them. And that's what this is for. It's for your questions, your thoughts, your experiences, anything you want to talk about. So this has been really fun. I love it when we all get together and I get to hear from all of you. It's really fantastic and kind of makes everything we do worthwhile. I get to see and hear from the people who are benefiting from what we do. It makes it real, so to speak. But thank you all for joining us today in this live stream. And again, I'd like to ask everyone to make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you would consider joining and becoming a member, it is so helpful. You can click on the join button up in the right upper corner there. Look at your options. It really helps us to keep our resources available for free to everyone in the world. And it's just so very helpful to have membership and subscribers. It makes it easier for people to find us on YouTube. The more subscribers we have, and the and the memberships definitely help us to keep our mission afloat. So I definitely appreciate all of those things. And Adriana, did you see anything in your out of body pertaining to the end? I've seen things about these things. It would be very hard to summarize them. You don't see a join button. Let's take a look and see. It should be right up there in your upper right, right next to, let's see here. Right up there in the upper right, does anyone else have trouble seeing the join button? Yeah, most is written in the Bible, but very difficult to interpret. There are a lot of people having visions about this, and really? No join button. How bizarre. Let me take a look here and see what could be going on there. I am going to sign out and see if I see what you see. Oh. Oops. Okay, so I was trying to do that, and that was probably the wrong way to do it. There should be, and if there isn't, please let me know. You can send me emails so that I can try to see if I can fix the problem. But there's a subscribe button on the right side of the page, and right to the left of the subscribe, there should be a join button. If there isn't, please let me know, and I will try to get that fixed. One of the things I was going to mention about these visions is for Adriana, I would recommend Father Michel Rodrigue, Rodrigue. You can look him up on YouTube. There's still some of his things are up. He has been kind of silenced a little bit. But he was told by the Blessed Mother that he is one of the prophets of the end times. He is very fascinating. He founded a religious order and is also a mystic, a visionary, and he has received a lot of visions regarding this. And I think very highly of him. So I would recommend that, to look into what he's had to say about it. I do have visions myself about these things. I think we are in a lot of difficult times right now. Thank you, Sage. Yeah, email me at Marilynn Hughes, Marillynn Hughes, Hughes, at outofbodytravel.org, and we'll try to get that figured out. And so, for sure, and I appreciate that. Thank you. The fact Sage is able to join this live chat. He is already a member. Probably not necessarily so, MT. Okay, so we'll want to go ahead and get in touch with me, Sage, okay? So we can try to get that resolved, okay? And so the there's another site I would direct you to as well. It's countdowntothekingdom.com. A friend of mine has a close friend who runs that site, and it is they keep track of a lot of Catholic mystics who are receiving messages about this sort of thing. And I think I'd probably feel the most comfortable sending you there and talking about Reverend Father Michel Rodrigue, which I think would be very interesting for you if you're interested in looking into that, Adriana. Let's see, Christian Metatron. I went on a spirulina, wheatgrass, and chlorella diet, eating only fruits and vegetables in 2013 for 60 days. And I found it very easy to lift into the astral. I had many powerful dreams and prayers. Very interesting. So that's interesting. And I have heard from other people that when you fast and pray, or when you go on vegetarian diets, things like that, that it can have an impact on your spiritual life. So I was a vegetarian for 3 years. I don't know that I noticed a big difference for myself, but I've been doing this for a long time, for 30 years, so it's a little different. I do not know. That's a good question. I guess I should get in touch with them and check into that. I have not inquired about going back on. I've been kind of taking a break on that because I've been working on a lot of these film projects, in terms of going on to coast again soon from known. Oh, thanks, Mark. Thanks, MT. That would be great if you could include the link. Let's get them that link. That's an excellent idea. Let's get that link here to those here. There's the link to the group. And we also have the page, which we would love for you to go in and like as well. We appreciate that. That's helpful as well. And so, yes. And countdowntothekingdom.com, I believe. Let me make sure it's the right. There we are. Let me put that in there as well. Yes. And I'm going to find this also because Father Michel, he's considered a little bit controversial, but I personally just like him. So I'm going to just tell you about him. There he is. Okay, things were opening up and I touched on the prophetic. I could, let me just get in here. Foretell things. Oh, my computer is putting things in front of my screen, which is really annoying. How about you get off my face? There we go. I could foretell things about people no one had told me. My spirit wasn't ready to handle it at the time, and I stopped. Interesting. So, Christian, have you thought about trying that again now? Do you think you're ready now? Might be something to consider trying again if you feel like you're in a different space at this time in your life, perhaps. And so that could be something to consider. So, Adriana, we definitely, one thing I would say, Adriana, is that I've had visions about the times that we are in. And many of our members have had visions about the times that we are already currently in. You'll see that Father Michel Rodrigue is talking about the times that we are currently in as well. And that, there are a lot of reasons to believe, even from the prophecies of the popes and other prophetic sources like Pope John the 23rd. And there was Reverend Michael Scanlon and some others who had visions about this period of time from 2020 through 2040, that we may actually be in a significant time in our history. And that's what my experiences have shown me. My experiences have shown me that the period between 2026 and 2030 are highly significant and will determine what will happen in our world next. And so 2026 to 2030 would determine, according to the vision that I had, whether or not there will be some type of major world event after that. And that major world event could be world war, it could be cataclysmic natural disaster, it could be an asteroid hit, it could be an earthquake, it could be anything. But it will be things that occur between that 4-year period will determine where the world turns in that period of time. Let me catch up here. So MT says she's been realizing the importance of fasting too. She cannot travel at night when she goes to sleep with a full stomach. Not necessarily fasting, but for sure she cannot travel if she goes to sleep with a full stomach. Christian says, yes. Sage, could you share that book with me again, Marilynn? Absolutely. I'm going to write it down. In fact, I'll get a link to it here. Let's do that. Make it even one better here so that you can find it very easily. There it is. And then you can also look for it. See if you can find one that might be available for free online too, because there might be something like that available. There oftentimes is. So it's the True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort. Let's see. Did that come through yet? Let's see. Nope. Let me hit send. Let's see if it goes through. Going through. It's stuck. Okay. For some reason, that link does not want to go through. The True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort. So the link isn't going to go through. I guess it's too long of a link. But the True Devotion to Mary, St. Louis de Montfort. So that is the one. I was wondering how things fit in, Adriana says. I've been reading the Philokalia and the New Testament. Christian says, I love the Philokalia. I read the whole thing. I love the Philokalia. I did some readings on the Philokalia. It's on the YouTube channel. You can check that out under, that would be, it's over there somewhere. My goodness. Of course, the channel is locked up. But it's over there under, I believe it's under the home movies. It's going to be under selfishness and self-will. And where would that be? But pop me an email and I'll send you a link to it. How's that sound? Pop me an email. I'll send you a link to it. I did some stuff on the Philokalia. Try to get it back to a very visible spot on the YouTube channel there. Hey, Elmar, how are you? Great to hear from you. Adriana says, very interesting, 2026 and 2030. And you know, Adriana, what is interesting about that as well is that it coincided with the prophecies of the popes from St. Malachi, which was 2027 to 2032. And also the visions of Pope John the 23rd, which gave the same dates, 2027 to 2032. So my dates were 2026 to 2030. And I got those in the early 1990s. And just recently in the last couple of years found out about the prophecies of the popes and the prophecies of Pope John the 23rd. And so it'll be interesting to see about these things. But then, you know, go ahead and check out some of these other resources with Father Michel Rodrigue, which adds a lot of context, but also some of the other stuff at Countdown to the Kingdom. And I think you'll find that interesting. If you pop me an email, Adriana, as well, I have a really good book in the other room. I'll get you the link to that gives a really good, concise, well, it's not concise, but it's very thorough. But to me, that's concise. A very thorough history of prophecy and apocalyptic literature and prophetic stuff that I think you would find interesting as well, that I can get you the title and the author in case you want to read that as well. So MT, you love the Philokalia too. Yay, I love it as well. Sage, wrote it down. Excellent. Sorry about that link. Sage. Okay, Christian, I've been focusing on the virtues. It lifts my soul each time. Yes, and you know, the Philokalia really, really gets into those virtues. Each of those writers will, you know, just go through those virtues very well. You know what I mean? Elmar says, thank you for helping me have a giant spiritual awakening last fall. I'm so glad to hear that that's what happened. And I'm very grateful to be some part of it. Thank you, Elmar, for sharing that. I'm very honored by that. You are welcome. And so everyone, this has been great. And thank you all for joining us and joining me and all of us joining together. This has been fantastic. And again, please subscribe to our channel, and also up in the upper right-hand corner, click on the join button. Consider becoming a member if you are not already. And I'd so appreciate that. It helps us to keep our resources free for everyone in the world. That is a huge help to us. So please consider doing that. If you have any problems with the join button, pop me an email, Marilynn Hughes at outofbodytravel.org. And join us again for our future live streams. I love doing these. It's really nice to have the community, to get to know some of you and to get to hear your thoughts and what's happening with all of you. Thank you all so much for joining. Oh, I love this. Thank you, Sage. Thank you, Adriana, Elmar, everyone. Oh, thank you so much, John, for your super chat. That is so awesome. Again, super chats are ways that you can also help, focus on bringing some more assistance to the Out of Body Trauma Foundation in making our resources available worldwide to everybody, everywhere. Make more of these grand spiritual awakenings occur, like Elmar is talking about, making it possible for anyone, anywhere. Thank you, John, and thank you, Christian, and thank you, Nun and Sage, and everyone else who has been here. I know I'm missing some people. Anna Yell was here, Bethany, Daniel, Ronald, everyone else who was here, and everyone who was here that I didn't get to talk to, but who is listening and who will listen in the future. Thank you all so much. And we will see you next time. Again, subscribe, become a member. Thank you. We'll see you next time.